Alrighty guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a couple weeks. I got married and was on a honeymoon, so I've been gone for a little while. I haven't been doing much fishing, but I am super excited for today's video. It's gonna be an awesome one. If you guys are familiar with my channel, which most of you guys are, over the past couple years, I work with a company called No Live Bait Needed. They're a Florida company, or NLBN for short. Sometimes I say that, most of the time I say that, NLBN. But they are an awesome company, and every couple weeks they do a limited batch drop, a limited color drop, where they make a new color or drop a different color than their standard colors, and that's pretty neat. So that being said, a couple years back they gave me my own color. It is called the JM Murder Mullet. I'm going to be telling you guys all about it, how to work the baits, how to rig the baits, how to fish them, all sorts of tips coming in today's video. But my personal color dropping this Friday, immediately following the video. The second this drops, the first Friday, October 20th, 8 p.m. on NLBN's website, nlbn.com, you guys can get my personal color, the JM Murder Mullet. So I got two rods rigged up right here below. I'm gonna walk you guys through them. Little tips on how I'm gonna use them right now, but this is gonna be a 2-day video. We're gonna fish today and tomorrow. We're just gonna try to knock out plenty of fish. That's my #1 goal. Knock out plenty of fish and get a handful of different species, hopefully redfish, trout, snook, maybe even a tarpon and a black drum. We're gonna try to do it all, but I'm gonna walk you guys through these two setups right here. That being said, these two setups, these are two of the baits they're dropping in almost every single bait. Murder Mullet is gonna be coming in 8-inch straight tail, paddle tails, 5-inch paddle tail, little mullet, mini mullet, and 3-inch paddle tail. So right here, I got two with me today. This is what I'm gonna start with. I might switch it up later down the road, but for right now, early morning, we're gonna start off with the mini mullet. This right here, like I said, this is the JM Murder Mullet colorway. It is a black back with a red belly, red flakes. It is a really neat color. It is kind of like a Halloween themed kind of colorway. I came up with it during October a couple years back, but this is it. This is the little mullet. I'm sorry, this is the mini mullet, the smaller version of the little mullet, but that is it in Murder Mullet. Great color, one of my favorites. I've caught a ton of fish on this colorway, but we'll start off with that. This is just on a medium 2500 right here. This is the Penn Authority. Love that reel. But here we go. The second setup I'm going to be working with today, I'm going to be going back and forth. I got no real pattern right now. I don't know what I'll pick up and what I'll throw more, but we'll start off with these two rods. This right here is the 3-inch. That is the 3-inch paddle tail in Murder Mullet. So you guys are going to get an opportunity to get any bait you want from them in my colorway. 3-inch paddle tail, you guys have seen me fish this plenty. We've caught tons of great fish on this bait right here, but this will be my second option. I'll probably start with, I don't know what I'll start with right now. I might go back and forth between the rods, but yes, Friday, October 20th, you guys can grab the baits. It's gonna be a big drop. Make sure to follow me on Instagram for updates as well, Justin_Menendez. You can follow NLBN on Instagram as well. They're at No Live Bait Needed. So that's that. Let's get fishing. I've been talking a lot. Let's get some fish. It's pretty windy today. I don't know how that's gonna play out. Might cause us to, might be a tough day, might be a really easy day. We just gotta fish and find out. So thank you guys once again for clicking on today's video. Let's get fishing, let's do it. Let's go, guys. All right, so I know I slightly touched on the setup in the intro there. I was trying to talk fast, get a lot of information out, but real quick, Penn Slammer 2500 right here, 7-foot medium Fenwick rod right here. And then we're gonna start with our 3-incher because I see this little windy cut right here. I think I'm gonna want the bait that gets down a little bit more. 30-pound mono leader, that's all I'm going with today. Water, as you guys can see around me here, is pretty clear. I wanna fish a little bit lighter leader. Sometimes I'll fish 40 or even 50, but today we're gonna start with 30. We'll start with this, see what happens. If I see some fish floating up, shallow, stuff like that, I might go to the mini mullet because I love that topwater blow up. But that's that. Let's find them. Let's find them. Oh, there's a fish. There it is. I'll take it. What is it? Oh, it is a trout. That is exactly what I thought we'd have a hard time catching. Like I said, I want to find multiple species today. I'll take a trout. Let me see if I can get a hand on this guy. I'll take it, I'll take it, I'll take it. So that is the first fish of the day. It is ripping right now. The wind is humming. I'll take that fish. I don't like to be too handsy with trout because they are extremely delicate, and you guys hear me say all the time, they're not super easy to catch. Their species in general, it's not doing too hot right now in my area. So every time I do catch one, I try to be as careful as possible, holding that fish over the water, making sure if I do lose him, like there, he falls right back in. Instead of bringing him in the boat, letting him bang around a bunch. But he came right off the bottom right there. I was just jigging the 3-inch right off the bottom. I was seeing a little bit of bait, a little bit of like, must have been glass minnows or pilchards or something, but he came right off the bottom. I'll take that as the first fish of the day. Oh man, I just got smoked again there on the bottom. Maybe that's the trick. Need to be really working the bottom. I'll take it for now. Definitely upgrade later, but it is real windy right now, so I gotta be, it's a little tricky fishing today, if I must say. There's a fish. Yeah, they're stacked in here, this deeper water. Little trout, little deep canal cut here is holding them. All right, murder mullet out, trout back in the water. There he goes. These dogs here couldn't be any louder. What's up, buddy? See a red right up here going up into the trees. Let me see if I can get it in front of him. Can't see him now. Oh, I got him. Couldn't see him at all. There we go. There we go. Decent guy. Decent guy. There's actually a big one in front of the boat as well. I couldn't see that fish at all. After I cast, the splash and the glare, couldn't see what happened. Ooh, good fish. All right, there we have it there. First decent fish of the day. He's not a big one. It's maybe a 19-inch redfish there. But grab that murder mullet right there. Water's pretty clear. I've seen a couple of them. They've been pretty smart thus far, but this one up under the mangroves, he fell for it. And of course, this is a fish I threw at and couldn't see after the bait landed. So it was really just me working it, felt a hard thump, and that was him. But we'll go ahead and throw this guy back in the water. All right, first decent guy of the day that could actually bend the rod. Them little trout were something, but I'll take it. We got a redfish and a trout. This is pretty much what this 3-incher is for. It's just about finding about everything, and it can handle the big ones, but for me, this is kind of my bait that I'll get just about everything to eat. Small fish, big fish, different species, especially for you guys who are in like North Florida, maybe South Carolina, Georgia, who your primary species are like flounder, redfish, trout. Great option for you guys, this right here. You guys can get them in, this is an 1/8 ounce head right here. You can get them in 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce, 1/2 ounce, even 3/4 ounce if you're fishing real deep water or water with current. You can jig it up and down. But right now I'm just working the 1/8 ounce. It's perfect for this like 1 to 2 foot areas, and that's a good one. It's a good fish to get us started. Good fish. I've seen a few other reds, but like I said, they've been pretty smart because of how clear this water is. So good to trick one. There's a fish. Oh, come on now. Come on now. Oh boy, I'm about to get nailed. I'm about to nail this dock. All right, there is our little slam, little micros, little snook there out from under the dock. I gotta steer away from this dock. The wind is whipping. I think it's gonna help me catch fish today, but it's almost making it nearly impossible to fish today. Little guy. Pop that right out of his mouth. Toss him back. All right, I'll take it. We need to find something decent sized, and it getting windier and windier isn't making it any easier. All right, just moved into a little deeper cut here out of the wind. Really feeling like there might be something up in here. Maybe a snook, tarpon, decent trout, especially with the water depth. Red lingering up under the trees. I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling it. There it is, yep. Decent one, a little bit bigger. I know they're small trout, but on a day like today, it's really just a puzzle. I mean, finding fish, real windy. But hey, beautiful trout. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that we would have caught, what, 3 trout now? Today, I would have said we got reds and snook, but little trout, I'll take it. Right where I thought they would be, in the deeper cut. Decent one. There's a fish. Smoking them. Smoking them. It's about, somehow the most common fish today I'm finding is trout, when I would have thought completely opposite. They like this color. I do think a dark color in dark water works really well. I would consider murder mullet a dark color for sure. But these guys are popping them, little guys. I know it's not super crazy or anything, but it's good to see trout. It's good to see trout. I think that's our 4th, 5th trout of the day, something like that. We've got a decent red, well, a little teeny tiny snook. But I figured I'd give you guys right now, since we just released that trout, a little demonstration for how I'm fishing this. The 3-incher is, hold up, I'm all tangled here. The 3-incher is very versatile because you can fish it at different depths, depending on what weight you put on, what jig head. What I'm doing today is I'm really just making these long casts into areas that are kind of deeper. I can't see here, there's no sight fishing opportunities, and I'm really just working it slow and just little jigs. Now that being said, I don't always fish it like that. Sometimes if I see a fish, I'm going to probably work it a little bit smoother until I see the fish start to move on the bait, and then I'll slow it down, work it at different speeds. But for right now, when I'm just blind casting, all I'm doing is just casting, jigging it back. I'm really not paying a whole lot of attention to how I'm working it. Just keeping it moving, changing up speeds, a little bit like that. Maybe a little twitch here and there. Maybe reel it smooth for a little bit. I'm just keeping it simple. It's nothing crazy. There's no perfect twitch, boom, anything like that. I'm just keeping it simple, moving it, stopping it, stuff like that. In areas like this where you can see there's 2 mangroves here, a nice gap between them where likely maybe a snook would be sitting. For a cast like that, I'll usually toss it in there and work it out smoothly, because I want, in my opinion, I want that lure to be seen back in there the longest. I don't want to twitch it out of there real fast. I just want to smoothly work it out, give a fish the longest amount of time to see the bait and then make a move on it. But other than that, that's pretty much it with the 3-incher. If you're sight fishing, sometimes I'll skim it over their head real quickly. If I see a nice snook, sometimes I'll do that. I'll move it real quickly over their head to try to get maybe a reaction bite. But for the most part, I'm just working with what's working today. And that's really just, changing up speeds. As you can see right there, I wasn't even moving it. Let it sink down to the bottom. Little trout grabbed it. This bait, once again, is a great bait for you guys who are up north, who primarily have flounder, redfish, and trout. But works amazing for snook and, tarpon as well. Little guy. I'm gonna have to move here in a little bit if I don't get into some bigger fish. I'm gonna have to switch it up. That's about the 5th, 6th fish on this lure. Still doing good as well, but let's get back to fishing. Oh, nice snook coming down the shoreline. Nice snook, nice snook. At least I think. I swore I caught a glimpse of him. Oh, there it is. Handful of snook. Handful of snook, actually. This thing is so light colored. So light colored. There was a fat handful of them there. I didn't even see this one. Not a huge one, but there's 4 or 5 of them right there that are honestly a little bit bigger than this one. Not upset though. This is a decent snook. I saw the one under the mangroves. And honestly was throwing at that one, and this one came up and just swooped in and grabbed it. There we go. There we go. Little guy, maybe 22, 23 inches probably. I'll toss him here on the ruler, but murder mullet right in the top of his mouth. Perfect spot to hook a snook, but let's see, maybe he's about 20. He's not huge or anything. He's 21. Decent little guy, I'll take it. It seems like later in the day I've seen more and more snook. I've seen about 3 now. 3 or 4. And got one to eat. He's biting on my thumb. And I think later in the day, they're starting to just show out because the water's the warmest it's been all day. We're also getting a cold front coming in, I believe right now, as you guys can see, super cloudy all around me. So it may be their time to eat. There's another one right here, actually. It may be them kind of turning up right now, starting to eat and kind of just appear. It's so funny. Snook, sometimes they just appear out of nowhere. We'll take it. I do think I may grab one more fish today. We'll just have to see, but I'll tell you what, today's probably been one of the most challenging fishing days I've had all year. And it's mainly because of the wind. I'm actually kind of out of the wind right now, but y'all know what I mean. Fishing's tough. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's tough, and today's one of those days, but we're working them, Something right up in there on the edge of the tree. Oh, it's on it. It's on it. I don't know what it is. Got it. There it is. Yep. There it is. Came up right out of the tree there. I knew there was something under there too. I'll take it. It's been a grind for these guys today. Alrighty, figured I'd show this guy off. It is late in the day now. Nice red. This is pretty much gonna end the day off for today, but nice red. Grabbed the murder mullet. He was sitting up under the tree there and just followed it out probably 15-20 feet. I was just jigging it as he's following it, and felt the thump, and that was him. So decent little fish there, but let's get him back in the water, and good way to wrap things up for today. All right, well, I gave it 10 more minutes. For some reason, where I released that last redfish, the mangroves were just packed with them, so it must have just been a group that was hanging around there. But we did fairly decent today. I like to complain a lot about the weather, but we just had to, play with the cards we were dealt. It was windy. It was probably sitting between 18 and 25 all day long. I don't know if you guys could tell that from just watching the video, but I had to just peek around, find some pockets where fish were hanging out, and that was pretty much it. Just a long day picking off fish here and there. We got some good trout. We got a couple nice reds and I think a couple snook. Kind of what I was expecting for fishing the 3-inch. This is that bait where I truly believe you can catch just about everything on. It's gonna be the bait you're gonna get a lot of bites on, whether they're small fish, big fish. That's just how it is. So that's that. We're gonna fish again tomorrow, like I said earlier in the video. I hope it's a little bit calmer. I think it'll be just a pinch calmer, but I'm just gonna try to change up the game plan, probably try to fish the mini mullet a little bit more tomorrow. One of my favorite baits, but we got him half decent today, and that's all I could do. It was a tough day. Probably one of the most challenging days of the year to fish. I think it's by far the windiest day I've tried to film a video. So that's that. We're gonna pack up here, head back to the ramp, and I'll see you guys in the morning. All right, we are back on the water. Let's do this. Oh. Alrighty guys, day 2 of fishing the murder mullet. I am excited. The wind is blowing harder than yesterday. It is the whole river's white capped by 10 a.m., which is a very rare thing to happen. But if you want some really challenging fishing, come and fish the Indian River Lagoon on a day where it's blowing out of the north 15 to 25. That's what we got today. I'm not gonna talk too much right now. I'm gonna look straight into getting some fish, and once I can make it out of the wind here and get into a little pocket, I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about some of the baits and tips and stuff that I wanted to talk about yesterday. But story of the day is it is windy, but I consider myself a good fisherman, so I'll take the challenge. All right guys, so we moved into a little calm pocket here. I figured now would be a good time to do a little demo on the 3-incher, since that's gonna be the focus. It seemed like it's gonna be the focus of yesterday and today because of the wind and the weather. It's gonna be my go-to. It's gonna be that most finesse little bait that's gonna get me bites. But I have this whole box here loaded with every murder mullet bait. They're coming out in 5-inchers as well. I know this is really great for you guys who like to fish the inlets, jetties, off the beach. Maybe you're up north, you striper fish a little bit, great for stripers. Even got 8-inch paddle tails, but these baits are not gonna be the most ideal for today. The most ideal is obviously gonna be this 3-incher and maybe that mini mullet. I don't know if I'll pull the mini mullet out today because of the wind. If I can find some happy floating fish, that would be great. But the best bait for today, because of the wind, blue skies is just gonna be the most subtle little 3-incher here. And I'm gonna show you guys quickly how to rig it, show you guys the advantages of fishing a NLBN paddle tail over some others, because there are a few key differences that I like a lot. So if you guys see the jig head here, it has this twist lock on there. You see that twist lock? That'll lock the paddle tail to the jig head nicely, and it'll force, well, it'll keep your bait lasting longer because the paddle tail is not going to be pulling off the back end, getting torn up as fish are thrashing around and stuff. It'll hold it right there on the jig head. But the jig heads, they are a little tricky to rig. It takes a little bit of practice, maybe doing it a couple times to get it just about perfect if you're new and never have done it before. For me, I can do it just about first try perfectly every single time. But right here, we got our 3-inch paddle tail, and then we have an 1/8 ounce jig head right here. These guys come in an 1/8, 1/4 ounce, 3/8 ounce, 1/2 ounce, and even up to 3/4 ounce if you want to fish deeper areas where you need to get the bait down, or even in current, you want to fish a small bait in current, you can fish a 3/4 ounce jig head, which is pretty heavy for a 3-inch bait. But for these guys right here, all you're gonna do is rig it up like any other paddle tail with a jig head. You'll put it right through the center right there, and you're gonna pop it out just about midway through the back, just like that. All right. Then from there, you're gonna take it and push it to that twist lock. Push the inner part of the bait towards the twist lock. And then all you're gonna do is spin it. You're gonna spin it on that twist lock, and you're gonna take the tail and go up under the barb of the hook. And you're gonna repeat that about 3 to 4 times. Just be careful, that barb is very sharp and you don't want it to cut your bait, so make sure the tail end goes under the barb cleanly. So keep twisting it. I did it, I think, 3 times, and it looks like we have a little gap there, if you guys can see that, between the jig head and the paddle tail. So it looks like we need to do about 1 more twist there. Go ahead and twist it in, see how that's looking. We're pretty close there, pretty close. If you guys can see, there's still a small gap. I'll do 1 more twist just for good measure to make sure that paddle tail is snug up against the jig head. But these guys are good because it's really easy to just drop in a 3/4 ounce jig head. It'll fit the same bait just as well. Jig head will just be a little bit bigger, looks very clean, looks good. That's gonna be the bait for today. Now I snuck up into this nice little calm pocket right here behind me, hoping to find a redfish. Didn't see anything, it was pretty dry. We'll have to just keep moving, hanging out around the mangroves, tucking away from the wind, and doing our best to find redfish, trout, snook. But that's a 3-inch, it's a great bait for just about every species out here. It's the one bait in my box that I think will catch everything, even a black drum. So that's that. Let's get fish on the day. Let's knock out some good fish. That's my goal, and just do my absolute best out here. And it's going to be a challenge today with the wind, but I don't want to complain too much. Let's get fishing. Let's get some. Oh, there it is. I was thinking it. It was bound to happen eventually. These fish have been some of the most aggressive I've seen today. I've seen a few reds, I've seen a few small snook, and I've actually seen a few small tarpon, but everything seemed to be lockjawed today. But these guys, of all the fish that are tough to get to bite, I got this one. Alrighty, there you have it. A black drum on the murder mullet, 3-inch paddle tail. Got him just right there. I don't know if he quite inhaled it, but he shot at it like a rocket. I mean, more aggressive than the redfish today. I gotta assume that maybe the black drum care less about the colder water temps. Maybe that's why they're being a little more aggressive, but decent fish there. Our first one of the day. It has been, like I said, a challenge. We're having to come back into these like coves where we're kind of hidden from the wind, but we got a fish, a black drum of all things. That's good. We're getting our species in, kind of like I said, variety. We'll get this guy back in the water. All right, well, first fish down of the day. We're out of the wind right now, that's all I'm gonna say, but finally found some fish in the past couple minutes, and it was just amount of casts in front of fish to finally get a good bite. It is hard to get black drum to eat anything, period. So getting them to eat a little 3-inch paddle tail, that was pretty good there. The water is a lot colder than yesterday, I will throw that out there. It's interesting to see how it affects the fishing and that sort of stuff. These guys have been sitting in really hot water for the past probably 6 months, and just a cold flash kind of switches things up a little bit, makes it a little bit more challenging, but we got one. So let's just keep fishing. We're still looking for our reds, snook, trout, maybe a tarpon, but that's another species to add to the list, and I like that a lot. Oh, I see something way up there, way shallow, way shallow. Redfish. I don't think he saw that. There's a couple up in this pocket. I'm gonna turn up in there and go, oh, he's on it. He's on it, actually. Came out after it. Oh, he's, got him, got him, got him. Stay out of there, stay out of there. Stay out of there. Oh, there's no way. That was the most finesse fish I've landed or hooked in a while. There he is right there. Still working it. That fish I saw from a mile away, and I made a cast, just like a Hail Mary cast up in there. Hail Mary cast up in there. And I said, well, I think I gotta make another cast and go up in there. And he came out of there. I mean, it was super subtle, just followed it, followed it, followed it. And of course, that's how I got my bite. Sometimes it seems like making that perfect cast 3-4 feet in front of them is too close to him. And I feel like that was the perfect example of it right there. That was, I must have led him by 15 feet, but he heard it, saw it, this water's crystal clear, and chased it down and grabbed it. Decent red there with some cool spots. There we go. Figuring something out, figuring something out. 2 fish in the past like 10 minutes. Oh, there we go. Nice red. Cool spots on that one too. 3 on that side. I think there's 2 on that side, so a total of 5 spots on him. Good fish, cranked it. Go ahead and pull this hook out of him here. Starting to figure something out. I don't know if they're eating because it's starting to get a little warmer. Getting to our highs of the day, which I think is 70 degrees today. It's pretty cool for Florida and this time of year, but almost got you, buddy. I don't know. We got 2 bites there in the past, 10 minutes. They starting to put a pattern together. All right, bait's out. This guy's trying to take off on me before I can let him go. There he goes. There we go, we got him. Decent red, starting to figure out maybe a little bit of a pattern here. I think I found a nice little pool, backwater pond with some fish in it. I'll take it. I think this is a trout right here, right under the boat. There it is. Nice fish. Nice trout. Nice trout. Stay with me. Stay with me. Stay with me. There it goes. Nice fish. There it is. About time we hooked up into one of these guys. Decent fish. Finally, I'd been seeing them and I couldn't tell if they were little reds, little drum, what they were going across the bottom. Nice trout. Just came up and smoked it. Smoked it. It's a good fish. Great fish, actually. I've been meaning, I've just been feeling like, man, I feel like we're due for a decent trout. Good fish. Let me see if I can land this guy. I won't take him out of the water. It's like I said earlier, these guys are kind of finicky. They're not doing all that well. But this guy seems like he's been eating good. Healthy, healthy fish. Beautiful. He's probably about 21, 22. Oh, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful trout there. Heavy, heavy, heavy. What I'm gonna do is just gonna hold him over the water right here. Pop this out. Just be very gentle. Ooh. Very, very gentle. That 3-inch right in the corner of his lip there. All right, he's released. Bait's out of there. We'll spin him around, have him on his way. And he's ready to go. Beautiful. Let's go. Nice trout. He just came up and clobbered it. I mean, trout, sometimes they're a little finicky, especially in this clear water. But that one, that was no joke. Came up and just hammered it. Got my bait pretty good there with them teeth. But we're still good. We're still good. Got it. It was a good fish. A really good fish. Good to see. Love getting trout because they, like I said, aren't doing the best. There's some species that are doing a little bit better than them. There used to be a lot more trout around these type of places where I'd probably catch 100 trout in a day 10 years ago. Now I'm lucky to catch a couple. But that was nice. Nice fish. Good to get a trout that like really pulls the drag too. Good fish. Some sort of fish right here. Let me see. I think it's a red. Maybe it's a drum. Oh, more fish right here. 3 fish. Maybe they're drum, maybe they're red. It's hard to tell. It's on it. It's on it. There it is. There it is. Tricked another one. These are black drum, and I'll tell you what, I have seen about 1,000 of them today. Most of them come up to the bait and look at it, give it a look, and probably smell it and realize it's not what they think it is. But every now and then, they are very aggressive. And it's crazy, right? It's crazy. I don't know how these drum are being more aggressive than some of the other game fish we've seen today. But I will take it. Another good fish to put in the boat. They're eating well. They are eating well. I've never seen drum this aggressive, maybe other than in Louisiana. Those guys are dumber than these Florida reds, but these Florida drum. Another one. Oh, that water is cold. That water is cold. Oh, there we go. Little drum got that right in the front of his mouth there. That was a good hook set. So we can pop this out easy and send him back. Maybe not easy. Oh, very easy. All right, popped it out. Another fish falls to the murder mullet. There he goes. Let's see, it's getting late. I just want one more fish at this point. Honestly, anything other than a black drum. Looks like I finally got to replace this as well. I really wish I could have fished the mini mullet a bit more today, but with how the water is, water temps, I don't think fish, well, I know fish aren't being all that aggressive, but throw on a new bait. This one lasted quite a bit today as well. Something big just caught my eye going into the tree. It definitely wasn't a drum. Could be a giant, well, could be a big snook or a big trout. It looked like it was over 30 inches, so I'm just gonna be patient here, wait to see if it'll come to me. Barely drifting here. I do not want to spook this fish. It would be a great opportunity at a good one. Here he is. There it is. Got him, I got him, I got him. Good snook, good snook. Good snook, good snook, good snook. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. Good snook, good snook. Stay with me, come on. That was just about perfect. Stay glued, stay glued. Let me get you away from the trees. Perfect, 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 perfect. Oh, come on, come on, come on, work with me here. Come on, pulling me straight into the mangroves. Good fish, really good fish. Oh, come on. Let me get a hand on you here. This fish looks like he's about 30, like I said. Oh, come on, this is the fish of the day right here. Fish of the trip, really. Oh, perfect, perfect. Get a hand on you. Let me get a hand on you. Oh, perfect. That was it. I was so due. I was so due. A lot of hard work fishing to make something happen there. That was perfect. Beautiful snook. I won't say 30, but probably 29. Beautiful snook with the 3-inch murder mullet right there in its mouth. Oh, yes. Alrighty guys, beautiful fish. This is what I was looking for to end the day off. A beautiful snook on the 3-inch murder mullet. I mean, I have had almost 0 shots with these guys today, and this one put on a good fight. I had a little bit lighter leader there, lighter drag as well. I didn't want anything fraying me off, but incredible fish. Incredible, good fish. For a cold weather day, get a snook like this, I will take it. Let's put this guy back in the water. Oh, lure just fell out right there. I couldn't have drawn that up any better. Couldn't have drawn that up any better. I was just praying for something a little bit better than these drum and reds. That was a great fish. We're gonna go ahead and just send him right back to where he came from, up in the mangroves. There he goes. 30-pound mono. It was just about perfect for that fish. Any lighter probably would have frayed me. Any heavier, it might not have took the bite, but oh, we got that all messed up there. There it is. 3-inch NLBN paddle tail and murder mullet. That's so good to catch something on your color there. When I was drawing it up, I always wanted something mean, something dark and mean looking, and that is awesome. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I don't think I could end it any better than that. Whew, feels good, man, feels good. I was just too many small fish. I mean, catching them good, but you always want something bigger, something that's gonna pull a drag. And we got just about everything in this video. I really wish we could have fished the mini mullet a little bit more. That fish may have eaten the mini mullet, if I'm gonna be honest. I really wish we could have fished the mini and the little mullet a little bit more. But if you guys wanna try my colorway, the JM Murder Mullet from NLBN, October 20th, Friday, 8 p.m. Be ready for it. They do sell out usually pretty quickly. They have a big batch this time, so hopefully that won't be a problem, won't be too quick, but you're gonna have to set a reminder to get on the website and check them out. So thank you guys so much for watching. In addition to that, all of their baits are coming out in this colorway, which is the first time that's happening as well. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for watching today. NLBN.com to find those baits. I appreciate it. It has been a grind past 2 days. It was a real challenge fishing in this weather, just a quick cold front, and brought in a lot of wind with it, but we got it done. We got it done. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in that next video.